Most people are living a life they never chose, reacting to people they never respected, controlled by moments they never processed. This channel exists for one reason: to help you think clearer, live with more intention, and build a life on your own terms. Today's video is about one of those moments, the kind that either breaks you or builds you into something nobody saw coming. But before we begin, I need to warn you about something. What I'm about to share is one of the most powerful fuels a human being can use. People have used it to top classes, build empires, and become legends. But used the wrong way, it doesn't build you. It imprisons you. It turns you into someone who spends their entire life fighting a ghost instead of building a future. So listen carefully, because the line between using this fuel correctly and destroying yourself with it is thinner than you think. This is the story of how I walked that line, and what happened when I got it right. I want to tell you something that happened to me in Class 10, something I have never forgotten, and something that changed everything about who I became. There was a girl in my class, let's call her Rubina. She was good at one subject, EVS, and she knew it. One day after our unit test results came out, she walked up to me, looked me in the eye, and said, "I scored more than you in EVS. If you ever want to score more than me, touch my feet first." Touch my feet. I said nothing. I walked away, but inside, something had just been lit. Something that would not go out for a very long time. Here's what most people do when they're humiliated. They react. They argue back. They post about it. They tell their friends. They spill their anger right there, on the person, on the moment, on a reaction that disappears in 5 minutes. The energy evaporates, and they go home with nothing but a memory of being hurt. Ancient samurai warriors were trained to do the exact opposite. There's a principle called mushin, mind without mind. When someone attacks you, with a sword, with words, with disrespect, you don't react with emotion. You absorb. You stay still, and you redirect every single drop of that energy into your next move. I didn't know about mushin at 15, but that day, I practiced it without knowing its name. I went home. I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I didn't post about it. I opened my books, made a silent decision, and gave myself 3 months to make her understand exactly who she had just disrespected. But here's what nobody tells you about using humiliation as fuel. The first day I sat with my book in a silent room. I couldn't concentrate for more than 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And then my mind would drift. Other thoughts, other memories, gone. Second day, slightly better. Third day, my body completely shut down. I was staring at the same page for 2 hours. Not reading, just staring. My eyes were open, but my mind was somewhere else entirely. I had no willingness, no energy, no focus. Today is difficult. Tomorrow is much more difficult. Most people die tomorrow evening. But on that third day, something happened. I closed my eyes, I got silent, and I let that memory come to me. Rubina's face, her words, that moment. I let it trigger me completely. And from that silence, something shifted. Not fury, not noise, just a decision. Quiet, final, irreversible. I said to myself, no, I cannot pull myself back. I have risked my pride. I have risked my words. I have risked everything. I am not a person who accepts failure. It is not over until I win. A goal that should have taken 3 hours, I completed in 1. Whew. That is what properly directed humiliation does to a human being. It doesn't just motivate you. It temporarily removes every limit you thought you had. Those 3 months didn't just win me an exam, they rewired me completely. The boy who couldn't concentrate for 10 minutes became someone who could sit with a book for 3 hours without moving. The student who was average in every subject became the highest scorer in the class. That's not just motivation, that's reconstruction. Humiliation, used correctly, doesn't just fuel you, it rebuilds you from the inside. It installs discipline you never had. It sharpens your thinking. It makes you clearer, smarter, and more capable than the person you were 3 months ago. And here's the thing nobody tells you. That upgraded version of you doesn't disappear after the exam. It stays. Because you built it through struggle, not shortcuts. Motivation gets you to the desk. System keeps you there. Without what I'm about to tell you, the fuel from Rubina's humiliation would have burned out by week 2. With it, I topped every subject by the half-yearly, and every exam after that, including boards, including ICSE. Here's what I've figured out about studying that nobody tells you explicitly. Every subject speaks a different language. And if you're speaking the wrong language to the wrong subject, you will lose every time, regardless of how hard you study. Geography and history speak the language of memorization. You want to win those subjects? Memorize the book, cover to cover, no shortcuts. Physics and chemistry speak the language of understanding. Memorizing a formula without understanding the concept behind it is like memorizing directions to a place you've never seen. The moment one thing changes, you're lost. Go deep. Ask why. Practice every single sum, every example, until the concept lives in your hands, not just your head. Biology sits in the middle, part memorization, part understanding. Treat it like both. This subject-specific approach alone will separate you from 80% of your classmates who are studying everything the same way. Second, set goals with deadlines, not wishes. Not, I will study history today. That's a wish. A real goal sounds like this. I will finish Chapter 3 of history completely before 6 p.m. today, no matter what happens in the world. People who plan exactly which subject, what they will cover, and when they will sit down to do it are 300% more likely to follow through than people who just say, I'll study today. Psychologist Peter Gollwitzer calls this implementation intention. I call it the difference between toppers and everyone else. Third, systematic revision. This is what locked everything permanently. The day you study a chapter, read it again that same night before you sleep. Next morning, read it again. After 3 days, read it again. After 1 week, read it again. After 1 month, read it again. Track every point you revise, first read, second read, third read, so your brain never lies to you about what you actually know. I guarantee you, and I mean guarantee, that chapter will never leave your memory. Not before the exam, not during the exam, not after. This isn't theory. I lived it, and it worked. 68 out of 70 in the subject Rubina thought she owned. First position, half-yearly. Every subject, first position. Annual exams, every subject. Highest scorer, ICSE boards. From average student to the top of the class. In every subject she thought she was better than me in. But I have to stop you right here, because what I'm about to say is the part every motivational video conveniently skips, and it's the most important thing in this entire video. Spite is powerful fuel, but used the wrong way, it doesn't build you, it imprisons you. I've seen people who got humiliated just like I did, and they used that humiliation, but they directed it at the wrong target. They became obsessed with the person who hurt them. Every decision they made was about that one person. Every achievement was measured against that one person. And when they finally beat them, they had nothing left. because they had spent 3 years building a life around someone who wasn't worth 3 minutes of their attention. That's the trap. Kobe Bryant admitted in interviews that he built his early career entirely on people who disrespected him, players who doubted him, coaches who overlooked him, and it worked, until he ran out of people to prove wrong. He had to find something deeper, a reason to be great that had nothing to do with anyone else. I felt that shift too. Somewhere between the half-yearly and the board exams, Rubina stopped being the reason I studied. She became irrelevant, because I had discovered something more powerful than revenge. I had discovered what I was actually capable of. That's the real gift humiliation gives you, if you use it correctly. It doesn't just show you what you can do to your enemies. It shows you what you can do. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. The goal was never to make her regret it. The goal was to become someone who makes everyone, including yourself, say, "I never saw that coming." So let me ask you something before you go. Who is your Rubina? Who is the person that dismissed you, doubted you, disrespected you, and is still living rent-free in your head right now? Good. Don't evict them yet. Use them, but use them correctly. Close your eyes, get silent, let that memory come, let it trigger you completely, and then open your eyes and get to work. Not to destroy them, not to obsess over them, but to discover what you are actually capable of when someone makes the mistake of underestimating you. Today is difficult. Tomorrow is much more difficult. Most people die tomorrow evening. Don't be most people. Drop a comment right now. Who is your Rubina, and what are you going to prove? I want to read every single one. Stickman figures it out. See you in the next video.